Hey y'all, so today I would like to talk about a subject that is very near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, DACA. Again, it's a big deal. People are now super pissed at Trump because apparently he's now going against all of his people, his fan base, his voter base, whatever, by actually looking for a compromise on DACA instead of just being flat out against it. Personally, I like the fact that Trump is going for compromise. Compromise is always good. That said, however, it seems that a lot of people don't have a real grasp on what DACA is. So, we're going to go through the basics of it. First of all, it is DACA. That is an acronym for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Deferred action. Now, it was put out on June 15th, 2012. That means it was almost 6 years ago now. Deferred action. The action of deporting these people has been deferred for 6 years. They've had 6 years to get their papers together. We're going to move on. On June 15th, 2012, the Secretary of Homeland Security announced that certain people who came to the United States as children and meet several guidelines may request consideration of deferred action for a period of 2 years subject to renewal. Okay. They are also eligible for work authorization. Deferred action is a use of prosecutorial discretion to defer removal action against an individual for a certain period of time. Deferred action does not provide lawful status. Okay, so I don't know about you, but that seems pretty cut and dry to me. It makes full, complete sense. You come here as an illegal, as a child, fine, stay here, whatever. But we're going to give you the time through deferred action for childhood arrivals to get your paperwork in order. Those who choose to not get their paperwork in order, pretty much everyone who is protesting at this point, you had your chance. But they don't even say that. They will defer the action for 2 years, subject to renewal. That means there are some people who have had it renewed twice since they first got it. And they still have not decided to actually do their immigration paperwork. Some out of defiance, some because they simply don't know, some because of lack of resources. That said, however, if you want to find the ones who are defiant, you can find them all over YouTube, all over Google, all over the internet. This isn't what this video is about right now, though a future video might be. You may request DACA if you were under the age of 31 as of June 15th, 2012. So, if you are currently 37 years old, you probably do not qualify for DACA. If you came to the United States before reaching your 16th birthday, if you have continuously resided in the United States since June 15th, 2007 up to the present time, if you were physically present in the United States on June 15th, 2012, and at the time of making a request for consideration of deferred action with USCIS, if you had no lawful status on June 15th, 2012, if you are currently in school, have graduated, or obtained a certificate of completion from high school, have obtained a general education development certificate or a GED, or are an honorably discharged veteran of the Coast Guard or Armed Forces of the United States and have not been convicted of a felony, significant misdemeanor, or 3 or more other misdemeanors and do not otherwise pose a threat to national security or public safety. What does that mean? If you have beaten the living shit out of somebody to the point that it's a felony, guess what? You're out. If you just feel the need for speed, if you are a chronic speeder and you've been caught 3 times or more, you're out. A lot of drug crimes will get you out. Rape, sexual assault, things like that will get you out. Shooting Kate Steinle. That goes against this, but somehow that guy didn't get out. Must be the state he lives in. Let's continue. You will not be considered for DACA if you have been convicted of a felony offense, a significant misdemeanor offense, 3 or more misdemeanor offenses not occurring on the same date and not arising out of the same act, omission, or scheme of misconduct, or you are otherwise deemed to pose a threat to national security or public safety. There are a lot of ways that you can be deemed to pose a threat to national security or public safety. That is their safety net right there. That is the government's way of saying you do anything we do not like, we can kick you out. If you do even the slightest thing, if you want to recreate the acts of La Campesina back in the day, what was it, the 70s? Now I have a hard time remembering. It's been a while. Anyways, you want to recreate that, you might get kicked out these days because it's on the books. Now, people love to talk about how the United States is crooked and ridiculous with its immigration laws. In an NPR article penned by Marissa Peñalosa on January 26, 2017, it states, as the Trump administration is expected to overhaul America's immigration system, some policymakers suggest looking north to Canada. That's because Canadians see immigration as critical to their economic success. The nation has invited in so many immigrants that today 1/5 of the population is foreign-born. Yet Canadians don't seem to wrestle with anti-immigrant nativism that has erupted in the US and Europe. In Toronto, scanning a business directory shows how multicultural the city is. The Association of Bulgarian Engineers, the Canadian Network of Iranian Architects, the Association of Filipino-Canadian Accountants. Half the population was born under another flag. Now, first of all, this seems to me like a lot of balkanization right here. This seems to me like a lot of immigrants not really willing to integrate and more trying to stick to their own. Considering the Canadian Network of Iranian Architects probably doesn't have a lot of Mexicans in it. Just saying. That said, NPR is pretty left-leaning. They are not neutral at all. Contrasted with an article from Quartz by Annalisa Nash Fernandez in March of 2017, America admits immigrants based mainly on family reunification pleas, while the Canadian government prioritizes economic-based immigration applications, such as skilled worker and investor applications. That would probably count out most of the people applying for DACA here in the United States. Sorry, but Canada doesn't want you either. In addition to welcoming refugees through numerous federal programs, the U.S. also has a visa lottery program, while Canada doesn't. The beauty of a lottery program is that it does not give preference based on economic or educational qualifications. Sorry for my syntax errors here. Permanent residents admitted to Canada for economic reasons represented 63% of its total documented immigrants in 2015. Family members and refugees represented 24% and 12% respectively. The picture in the U.S. is almost a mirror image. According to Homeland Security, family-based immigration applications represented 65% of total immigration or immigrants admitted, with economic-based and refugee applications each representing 14%. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was also praised for opening his country's arms to the immigrants banned by the U.S. Canadians will welcome you regardless of your faith, unless, of course, you're one of those DACA recipients who doesn't meet the merit-based application. Of course, he proclaimed. But is this really true? If you're an immigrant with a disability, you can be denied entry to Canada on the grounds that your medical care is a drain on national resources. Canada's Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, Ahmed Hussein, qualified Trudeau's proclamation by asserting that the country will not actually increase the number of refugees admitted. Trudeau's stance is in line with the Canadian population, whose tolerance toward accepting refugees ranks about the same as citizens in the US and Europe. That's right. Talking about Canada like it's some haven for refugees and the US is some big bad guy, the great Satan of the world, as Islam puts it, just because we want certain rules to be followed? Not quite true. Canada has stricter requirements than the US, and so do many other countries. What's more, while we will respect your feelings here in the US and attempt to acquiesce to your needs to have your family with you, not so much in Canada. If your family ain't skilled, or if you can't support them with your skills, you won't get in. Neither will your family. And that's just it. So, in short, if you really want to go cry at somebody, it might not be Donald Trump that is your enemy or your target. Might be Justin Trudeau and his band of apparently not so immigrant-friendly cronies up there in Canada. We're coming up over 12 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. If you like this, please hit the like button. It's going to help me a lot. And please subscribe. I'm sure looking forward to being able to do this on a more full-time basis. Other than that, if you've got ideas for things that you'd like to hear me talk about, or if you just want to have a discussion with me, please leave a comment in the comments section. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.